I am excited to announce that we have partnered with the Outdoorsmans in Fountain Hills, Arizona. They can provide all of your optics needs along with some of the best machine tripods and mounting accessories in the business. Swarovski, Zeiss, Leica, Leupold, binoculars, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, you name it. They can provide it, and at the industry's most competitive prices. They are offering our listeners an exclusive offer on all Outdoorsman's manufactured products such as packs, tripods, tripod heads, and other gear they manufacture. At checkout, type in the discount code RNA15, that is RNA15, and you'll receive a one-time 15% off your order. Please go to outdoorsmans.com and use the discount code today. Thank you for the support.
Where's the Justin squeaky?
Yo.
Justin should be probably
1,
3
2.
3 or 4.
Justin.
Justin Timberlake.
Check.
1, 2, 1, 2. Are you bringing
3,
sexy
4,
back?
Let's go.
Are you bringing sexy back?
That's my boy.
Is that?
Yeah,
I heard you were getting down with the Beebs on the right in.
it was.
Oh, we had it. We had
Lucas,
it going
man.
on.
Lucas knows more songs than me.
Yeah, but
I'm surprised he doesn't.
Lucas is like a closet music
He
addict.
doesn't know that much.
It's because he drives a lot. Oh my goodness. You have that saved in your phone, obviously, because we're on the top of a fucking mountain.
Yeah, it's not like Pandora's working up here right now.
Yeah.
That, my friends, is Andy sicker than a dog.
I got coronavirus up here at 9,000 and change feet.
Oh, man.
What's our elevation?
We're at
much.
9 and change here at base camp.
9 and change.
Yeah, I think it's 94. 94. Well, you know what? I got the technology, let me tell you. 9,300 straight up.
Straight up.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
My bad. 9,300 is our base camp down on the river. We are at 11,318 feet right here.
So we were at 13,000 feet earlier.
I think we were at close to 13. Actually, no, you're right. We were over 13. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at 13.4. I remember you saying that.
Yep. You're right.
I was so confused when we did that recap later, and you're like, no, we were at 12 and a half. I was like, what?
It all runs into itself.
Dude,
When you're over 10,000 feet.
you're done. It just is what it is.
And then you climb another 3,000 vertical.
Ibex. Go. You shoot. Oh, my God.
So what, we're on day 3 on the mountain, day 2 of hunting, right?
Yes.
Day 4 total here, with including a travel day. You could argue day 5, but we've hunted 2 days, and it's been rather taxing, a bit stressful, but pretty damn fun all at the same time.
For sure. And I have a feeling when we look back 30 days from this hunt being over, we're going to look back at it in a much better light. Not that it's not in a great light. Like, first morning, I missed an Ibex, and then I missed an Ibex at like 300 yards.
Yeah.
And then turned right around, chased him down, and then took a... How far was that
500 yard? 510?
510 yard
510
shot.
adjusted off of like 560 with the angle.
Well, I'm laying down prone off of some fucking rock.
Off a granite
with no
rock.
Foothold.
Yeah. Shooting positions, I would say, are not like we're sitting at a bench at a range. Definitely not ideal, but man, you made a killer shot, and I mean, when you shot and the bullet hit, that Ibex head went straight down right in the dirt.
Oh yeah,
he couldn't even get back up. I mean, that was, and you were textbook. I mean, you threw another one in, and just in case, you never know, you got to make a follow-up shot, but there was no need to do that on that Ibex. But that was a great way to start off our first morning of the hunt.
That miss was hard on me. The first one?
Because you shot line of distance with your rangefinder, right?
Yeah.
But that shot was probably 10 to 15 degrees incline.
Uh-huh.
So you probably roasted it right over his back.
For sure. So where my mistake comes in is I am so used to my Leopold rangefinder that I've used forever, always incorporating angle.
Yeah.
And then switching to these binos and not having anything incorporated in it whatsoever. So for me, it's so second nature after how many ever years of using it that I didn't even think twice about it.
Well, it's a good topic to kind of talk about because rarely have we had any opportunity where our shots have been flat. Now, my Ibex today was relatively flat, but all the other shots that we've looked at, even when we were sitting on the mountain today, we were range finding up probably at least 15 degree type angles. So, it's just a good lesson to learn. I mean, if you shoot uphill or downhill, it doesn't matter. Gravity has the same pull on the bullet or the arrow, whether it's uphill or downhill. If your line of sight shoot it at 60 yards, it's probably going to be adjusted down based on, the angle that you're shooting at. So just a good lesson to learn. But you fixed it, you corrected it, and
an hour later I smoked him at 510.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about that. I felt redeemed.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah.
The elevation, too. I mean, the elevation definitely, I feel like, shooting a little bit higher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the analogy I use is why Coors Field in Denver has the most home runs of any baseball park in the world, and that's because they're out over a mile high.
Yeah.
And the balls just carry like crazy
just
there.
Going.
It's the same thing. It's the same logic when you think about how elevation affects a bullet. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I do want to pause and say one thing.
Yeah.
I wish everyone could look and see what we're looking at right now. The unfortunate part of a podcast is you can't see us three goons sitting here with 4 days without a shave, stinky. But the sight we're looking at right now is just pretty stinking incredible. I mean, just looking down a canyon, steep cut, and then we're looking out into a frickin' snow-top mountain that's just incredible.
Yeah. Well, and two, when you were riding up this canyon 2 days ago, right when you came through this V-cut, you had 25 Ibex up the hill on your right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fucking so rad.
We spotted them. I didn't. My lead guide who was leading me up the hill on the horse, he spotted them, and they were just spread. We're literally looking on the hill that they were on. And the other cool thing about the ride up was all the deadheads and the stuff that we were seeing on the way up.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy how many of these Ibex probably get swept through avalanches or rock slides and die, and end up in these chutes.
Down these,
Yep.
Or with the snow belt. How about that glacier?
Yeah.
Like, I almost hiked all the way to it yesterday.
That was crazy, just seeing how it's formed and how it kind of solidifies the ice and
how deep it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing has to be 50 or 60 feet deep.
It's pretty crazy. We've seen a ton of crazy stuff. I mean, I guess when you're at 13,000 feet, there's a lot of stuff you see there that you don't see when us flatlanders live at, sea level up to a few thousand feet. So
yeah. Well, and we're definitely finding out right now you trained harder than Justin and I for sure, but you having your sheep hunt prior to this definitely tuned you very well. I mean, I've never really heard of anyone being able to keep up with the guides from anybody that I've ever talked to about hunting up here. And you're like literally on their fucking heels every step of the way. I'm like 100 yards, not 100 yards, but I'm like a solid 50 yards back.
Yeah.
It's rough, dude.
I've always said if you don't like this gear, you won't like the next one.
Yeah, right.
Because I've got a few more gears, but quite honestly, I mean, I don't know. There's something about just mountain toughness, whether you're in Montana at 5,000 feet or up here. I mean, it's hard. It's hard on your body, but I've always told myself, if I tell my brain that I know that I got to climb to the top of that, I'm going to climb to the top of it. And if I'm telling myself, oh, my blisters hurt, my leg hurts, it makes it tougher for me. So I always try to mentally prepare myself for tomorrow I'm already mentally preparing myself to say, we're probably going to have to climb 3,000 feet tomorrow. Like, it's probably just going to happen.
It's game on,
right?
And I think that's just part of every day.
And look what we've done. I mean, everywhere I've gone, you've gone. And just because you can't get there?
I just pull in a little bit behind you. But I just go, like, for me, I could be trying to keep up, and I could be trying to stay on everybody's heels, and I could murder myself.
Yeah.
Or I could just kind of, take it easy, go at my pace. And what works for me, and I'm going to catch up, and that's totally fine. And
well, I'll tell you, one guy I've been impressed with is Mr. Justin over there.
Dude.
He's carrying a, what do you think your pack weighs?
60 pounds.
No, not 60. It's probably 35, 40 max. But it's
with cameras on your chest,
with camera gear,
and a tripod in your hand. And
Yep. It's been tough. I would say this is probably close to the most difficult hunt I've been on.
Oh, this is the most difficult hunt I've been on in my life.
And so let's think about that. Do you guys think it's more physically demanding, or is it more of a mental game for you guys? Where are you guys at with this type of hunt?
Right now, for me, it's mental, and it's all because of language barrier. And that has, like, when I took my first shot, and I'll bounce back to that one because that was the first real difficult
situation you were in, right?
And you and I have already discussed, we'll switch off who's ranging and who's shooting. And we got busted hiking, and you were 50 yards behind us.
I got caught up behind you.
And everybody had to hit the deck.
Yeah.
And I rolled into this little hole and got set up. And the guy who's with me can't speak any English. All he keeps saying is big one.
Yeah.
Shoot the big one.
Shoot, big.
Shoot.
Like, okay, there's 30 of them
There's
standing
30
there, right?
Ibex.
All you see is
and
just
they're all
bone.
big, dude, and it's all bone. And I'm sitting there and not having that, because I'll be on the biggest one, what I think is the biggest one, and then they'll be like, the big one.
Yeah.
And it'll make me mentally second guess myself.
Yep.
And then I'll have to come off my scope to look to see if there's a bigger one, or like, you know what I mean? Some sort of adjustment. And I don't know if you had any of that similar experience with your shot that you took this morning.
I did. We worked up probably,
when they kicked me out, they were like, you got to stay.
Maybe a mile up, and they had me go, and Justin and I went with the two guides, and we crawled up on probably maybe a quarter mile of screen rock, and we got to this huge boulder. That's where we stopped, and that's where the ibex were feeding. There was probably 15 to 20-ish probably.
I would say that, yeah.
And same situation, I'm trying to range and get the rifle set up as they're going, big, shoot, big. And so what I had to do is I scanned every one of them through the scope. I looked at every single one of them and then made my call on which one I was going to shoot. And the one that I shot completely jumped out at me based on how dark coated it was and how much, turn, and the tips came all the way back around. And I ranged the first shot. It was 230 yards, adjusted, a slight adjustment. I racked one in, I shot, and I missed. And I don't know what happened. He was moving. They were starting to move out because they were starting to get a little nervous. So once I shot, of course, the jailbreak happened. And, of course, they're telling me, shoot, right? So I put another one in. I shoot. I hit him back, slowed him down. Third shot, put one basically right in front of the rear quarter as he was quartering away and blew out his neck. And he went up the hill probably another 100 yards and just kept fighting it. Rolling down, would get up, run up again, rolling down. And I never saw what happened because I was like literally shaking even after. Right, Justin, you said, hey, let's do a quick recap. And I was like, I put my hand up, and I was like still shaking.
Yeah.
Because it's so stressful because once they get you on them, there's 20 of them there. And you're looking at every single one of them, and every single one of them, like, okay, they all look good. And then one walks in front of another one, and then another one goes here, and then you see another one, and you're like, how often do you get the opportunity to shoot at 35 mule deer bucks standing there and figuring out which one, right? It's like, there's a nice buck, I'm going to go kill him, right? Or there's a nice bull. Rarely do you ever get that opportunity. So in this case, we're having to do the field judging and figuring out which one we're going to shoot and do the actual range finding too, because your rifle is very dependent on having the right range. Up to probably 300 yards, it's not a big deal. But anyway, it's high pressure, high stress, no doubt, as they're just jabbing, and you're like, Justin, you saw it in me. You're like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, I know he's dead. I saw him, and they thought he didn't. They thought,
told you he didn't die.
No, they thought there was another one running up the hill. I'm like, no, like he is done. I know that last shot piled him up, but anyway.
Something that worked out really well for me on that second shot that I took yesterday was I was able to 100% tune out everybody except for what you were calling me.
Yep.
And that for me was so perfect because I'm on my pack or on whatever pack I was on, and I'm laying there and I'm just listening to your audibles.
Yep.
And everything else is just noise. It doesn't really matter.
And
that changed my entire shooting scenario.
Well, and I tuned into Justin because Justin was ranging for me.
Yeah.
And once we hit the initial range, of course, then when they blew out, I started turning the turret because I knew they were going, at 25-yard increments. But you're right. You can tune out all that other white noise, if you will. If I'm in there saying, okay, it's 540 adjusted to 510, let's turn your turret to 500 straight on. Okay, perfect. And then I'm just continuing to tell you, okay, they're moving up a little bit. They're 512. So, that's invaluable in a hunt like this. Because if you don't have someone calling those ranges out on a shot like that, prime example, your first shot, right? I mean, you roasted one right over their back, and they're just screaming bloody murder at you to shoot, and you're like, I don't know which one to shoot. Like, try not to freak out, but no, both of us have made it happen. We both shot good billies, and we're sitting here in camp on basically day 2 of the hunt, and I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, knees are a little tight and legs are a little sore, but that's just a part of being up in the mountains. So
I mean, for me, mostly my lungs. My lungs are really the only thing that's slowing me down. Yeah, which is kind of annoying. But I guess you really can't do anything to prepare for. And the worst part is too is like this morning we ride 1,000 feet on horseback above camp
in the dark,
and then we hop off horses in the dark, and then we hike another 1,000 or whatever.
Probably, 500 to 700 feet-ish maybe. Yeah.
Up to where you shot, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like the only way to the Ibex is going up. There's no
shooting
flat.
them at camp.
There's no flat. There's no and the further up you get, the thinner the air gets very, very quickly.
Yeah. What's amazing to me is you can be sitting there and you can look off in the distance 2 miles and you'll just see these little specks, right? And you look up in this little crevice on the top of the world and you see 3 giant monarch billies standing there. Yeah. And they're just down there looking at you like, come and get me, guys. It's crazy. I've never Ibex hunted before, but this definitely gives me a different appreciation for this animal and this species and where they live and how they thrive and what they do is just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
What do you think for you, Justin? What's been the worst, the mental or the physical?
I would say the mental for sure. Mm-hmm. Mental as in, for one, I don't know about you guys, but the kind of the unknown, as in the language barrier. Mm-hmm. So obviously, like Lucas has been talking about the whole trip, have trust in your guys, trust in your guides, follow them. But almost for me, the unknown, if where we're going, in a sense, are we going to the top of that hill, this hill, it's just you're just kind of a second lead following along. And
well, it's hard to mentally prepare, right? If I got to climb to the top of that, I got to be okay. Time to dig in, right? Yeah. But if we're only going to that, okay, that's different. Deal. But I might have to take a coat off if I got to go to there, right? Or break down a layer. So that part is tough because you don't know if you're going to climb for the next 2 hours or climb for 30 minutes,
and that does make a difference.
It does. It really does. And, and I've always tried to apply that philosophy with a lot of these hunts is, the guides, this is what they do. I don't know the area. I don't hunt here. You got to trust them. And I will say they've put us on Ibex, right?
Every day.
They've put us on Ibex. And so there's something to be said about that. But the frustrating part is when a plan, what we think is what we want to do, doesn't come together. We're all asking, okay, well, what happened? Did we do something? Where did they go? And then you just get this, or and you're just
a hand signal.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done here.
Well, prime example. We get back to camp tonight.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, all right, Are we done for the day, or are we still going?
At 4:30.
And it seems like they're telling you that we're done for the day. And you get changed and get ready to like eat dinner and do your thing. And
so you guys start eating. Next thing you know,
the most savage of the guys
boots
come
on,
up.
boots.
Yeah. Boots, let's go kill an ibex.
We're looking at the clock at 5. Okay, the sun drops in 2 hours. How are we physically going to be able to do this? But the good thing about our guides is they'll get on the horses, they'll go find the ibex for us, and I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that for tonight, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I will say for the language barrier, these guys are pretty top notch.
Yeah,
I'd say they're on top of their game.
They want us to kill.
Yeah,
there's no question. I mean, today we dumped the ibex. Jess and I are just kind of hanging around it like, God, this is so sweet, right? Next thing you know, they're yelling at us, gun, go, shoot, ibex up there. We're like, okay, like, can I relish in this moment for like at least 5 minutes? No. It's like, go, grab the gun, go. It's like, and I appreciate that of them, but I also want to tell them, guys, let's take an hour, let's do
Slow
this,
down a little bit.
Yeah. But they go 100 miles a minute, and I would rather have that than someone that doesn't even want to go and look, right? Or I mean, these guys are driven to find us good ibex, and I appreciate that. I do. It's just, there's something to be said after you put an animal down. There's kind of that coming down off of the adrenaline rush and the, I always say a prayer over every animal that I harvest. There's certain things that just like ritually that I like to do, and I'm not raring to go and kill something again like in another 30 minutes after I've already harvested an animal. It's just not the way I've been. So anyway, not to decant from the conversation.
Well, it's like when I walked up and we're kind of all just sitting around after everything, and I'm like, Justin, how you doing? And Justin's like, I'm stressed out, man. I don't even know why I'm stressed out, but I'm stressed out.
Well, Justin sees all our experiences through his eyes. We're the ones in the moment, right? Mm-hmm. But he's back.
Sitting back watching.
He's back 5-10 yards behind us, seeing and watching all this unfold. And I mean, I would probably feel the same way. I saw it happen to you too, right? Yeah. On your shot, Andy. So it's like going to a car lot and getting pressured by a used car salesman. I hate high pressure sales.
But I hate them. 4 used car salesmen.
I hate it.
Once. Yeah.
Like, I know what I want to buy. That's what I want to buy. I don't need anything else. This is the one I want to buy, period. Like, but, but all in all, this place is incredible. I mean, you got to figure less than 0.0001% of the world could do a hunt like this, physically or mentally, right? And for us to be here is just, I'm not certain I'd want to be anywhere else but sitting here right now and just taking all this in. It's pretty awesome, pretty amazing place.
Well, there's like moments when we're coming down the hill or when we're up on the top, and we're on the spine of the mountain. And you look around and you can see mountains just across the valley that are taller by a long shot than what we're sitting on. And it's literally like we're sitting on the top of the world in Kyrgyzstan. Just remarkable, unbelievable, beautiful, and breathtaking.
Yeah. Well, yesterday when we got up high on that spine, I had the guide that I've kind of been with, a short little Chinaman. Anyway, I was pointing and I said, Kazakhstan. And he goes, no. He goes, China. And he points and there's like a peak. He said it in meters. I don't remember how tall it was, but it is tall. Yeah. And then he goes, China. And then he goes, Kazakhstan. And it was like, we're like right
on the corner,
on the border of both of those countries. And we are like in the eastern part of Kyrgyzstan. And I mean, to recap, flying into Bishkek and then spending 13 hours in a Land Cruiser driving. I mean, that just goes to show the logistics to get to a spot.
What a wild-ass ride. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to just say this straight up. I had total FOMO in my drive. We were in a car, this dead fucking silent.
Yeah.
The guy in the front seat kept falling asleep. The driver didn't really talk much.
Chingy, the rapper.
Yeah. And he's just like, brrr. swerving in and out of lanes. There's no divider line on any of the roads.
The driving is bizarre.
The
We like pull out
driving
to
is
pass, and there's
psychotic.
like a car coming, and I'm like, okay, are we gonna make this? And like, and just pull right in. Like, Jesus. Well, our car ride has been pretty. Our car ride is pretty fun. We had Dalton and his wife, and
How cool.
just fun. Like,
Yeah.
American music was playing. We were singing along. She was singing along. She was videoing with us. It was cool. It was fun. And they actually told us a lot about like Bishkek and the history about Bishkek. And like, as we were
really?
driving, they were telling us about this is Karakol and this. And they told us about the big lake we drove by and how like some guy swam across it, Guinness Book of World Records. Like, yeah, we were having those conversations. Like,
Kind of a little tour guide.
it was, I mean, it made our ride, in my opinion, a lot better if you got to sit in a car for 13 hours, But, and to speak to that point, we came in with one other hunter from California.
Mike.
Big Mike Monroe. And we got to hang out a day, really, and a half with him. And then he went off with another string of wranglers and guides. And then, so we haven't heard from him. We don't know how he's done. We don't know. Hopefully he's done or he's shot a good ibex, but we haven't heard how he's done. So I'm looking forward to coming off the mountain and seeing him and see how he did. Talking
Hopefully
to him.
he's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, we got 3 good days of hunting left. We each got one more ibex to
Yeah.
try to knock down.
Saturday morning, maybe.
Yeah, and we've covered a lot of country, and we haven't even covered
A sliver.
a sliver of country. It's just, it
We've
is truly
covered
amazing.
like a canyon and a half.
You know when people say like, "Man, that's such big country," when I'm hunting, I'm like, okay, let's throw on your boots and then come in here. You want to talk about big country?
Yeah.
This place will swallow you up, spit you out, man. And one thing I will say, in addition to not only elevation, but we've all done pretty well at the elevation,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, Justin,
Having
you were a
hiccup
little
at
lightheaded
first. Oh, yeah.
first day, but I mean,
wouldn't
in
say
general,
that wasn't the worst of our issues when we first got to camp.
No.
Maybe some.
No.
That was an interesting day. 24 hours.
yeah, let's just say don't mix airplane food with 26 hours of travel and then another 13 hours of travel and then a bunch of food you've never eaten. And you just, I'll have one of those and one of those. And it looks like chicken. I'll have that. We all were saying a prayer to the porcelain god for about a day.
Who was it? Jason Price was like, just don't eat the chicken. Don't eat the chicken. And we got
We
to
ate
that
the
one
chicken.
restaurant.
What do I
What
do?
was it called? Good Food?
Yeah, I think
it
so.
was called Good Food.
Best food or good food, yeah.
Yeah, we get there and we walk by the food line, and it's like these huge chicken leg and thigh.
Only thing we knew, right?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that big ass chicken leg and thigh.
Other than the big pink red rockets that were there.
Yeah. You enjoyed that one.
Yeah. You got the breaded one, though.
I did. It was really good on a stick. It was
Yeah.
like a corn dog. I like corn dogs.
Corn dogs are good.
Corn dogs are good. Corn dogs are good.
So predictions.
I have fucking none.
Yeah. Expectations.
The dream. Tomorrow morning, we roll up, find ibex, move on them, and we double up.
That would put a bow on this
Yeah.
with our picture with 2 of them pointed together, big
Yeah.
old beards,
Yeah,
fucking swinging back,
Yeah.
sitting on either side. I could kind of go for that.
I could go for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoulder shoot whatever I see. I'm not going for vitals.
No.
I just
Just
want to
break
put it
their
down.
front shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just fold them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that 28 Nosler, I tell you what, man, the hole on that ibex today was ridiculous for a copper bullet. I've seen burgers do that. I've seen VLDs do that. I've never seen a Barnes bullet do what it did to that ibex today. That was super incredible.
Gunworks has it figured out, dude.
Yeah. I'm impressed. It's a good shooting gun. It really is. I like the weight. I like how it balances.
Yeah, big shout out to Dustin Whit. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name.
Was it Whitmer?
Whitmer. Yeah. for sighting that in to 200 yards and fine-tuning it.
Yeah.
Epic.
Well, Justin, what's going through your mind? You've taken some pretty... You think you've captured video photography like what you were thinking?
Oh, yeah. It's been beyond my expectations for sure. I'm excited to share it all.
Pull this thing together.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be epic.
Just the drive where we stopped and took photos in that little canyon where like all the kind of the sheep herders were, and then we got up on top and did the drone stuff. Like just thinking about all of this footage we have, and of course you've gotten all the kill shots on video. It's ridiculous. Like it is absolutely ridiculous how cool this could turn out. I mean, we've all seen it through our own eyes, but it'll be cool to relive it again, you know.
It will.
Through a camera.
Yeah. Get to see the actual story develop.
Yep. Well, we are literally sitting next to a nice little creek running down. We've got rock outcroppings on either side. We got some badass Kuyu tents set up, and we're just hanging out. Literally just hanging out, resting, and ready to strap it on for another morning. I will say, if we're going to ride horses again in the dark, I need to mentally prepare myself for that, because this morning was a bit of a crapshoot. I'm going to tell you straight up right now. Yeah. I was not really liking that whole scenario, but it does save on our legs. So
it does. I mean, imagine what time we would have got up there if we would have just been hiking the whole time.
Yeah, we would.
That shaved like an hour and a half off for us.
Yeah.
Well,
now these are good horses. I mean,
they're small.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Especially that one, Justin.
Mine's
that one Justin's
sketchy.
riding. That
keeps wanting to take a face.
That thing's like a pony.
We'll see. I'm very uneasy on horses, anyways. So
yeah,
they aren't my favorite thing.
Yeah. No, they've been good to us so far.
Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. It's been nice sleeping in my tent. I really like that Storm Star.
Yeah. No, they're money, no condensation.
Unlike Justin's 1P.
Yeah, I keep waking up to water dripping on my face.
Did you again this morning?
I did.
Did you
shoot?
Really?
Yeah, it's all wet in there.
Are you sure it's condensation? Okay, we won't go there. We have been hanging around each other a little bit long.
Yeah. Weather's been good, though. It hasn't been bad.
No.
It's 70s during the day.
Yeah, it's been beautiful.
Got fried today.
It's been real good.
You know, a lot of guys come and do this hunt in November because they like when the ibex get their full coats, but imagine doing this in 2-3 feet of snow. I mean, Jason's hunt was that way.
Yeah.
They slept on the mountain in this little rock. It was like -4 degrees. His boots were frozen. Like, I don't mind it like this.
No, this is nice.
And everyone says, well, if you go early, the billies are really high. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
The billies are really high. That's for sure. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? No?
Hi.
Okay. He doesn't want to.
America.
America.
Yes. This is in America. Born in America.
You, America. Oh.
Uh-huh.
No, Spartacus.
Oh, Spartacus.
Yeah. Language barrier.
You. Me.
No, that's me.
Yeah. Guides are pretty cool.
Yeah,
They're
they
fun. It's fun to, when you can actually joke with them and they get it, it's fun.
Can we talk about their footwear for a second?
Oh my gosh. Not uncommon, though. Not uncommon to see these guys wearing insulated muck boots.
Floating across rocks that I've never seen.
It's amazing to me that those don't cut on any of the rocks. That polyvinyl must be, I don't know, it's incredible. And they're all in their 30s. I mean, these guys are our age, and they're just up here, A couple of them have families. One guy told us he's got 2 boys and a girl, and it's got to be a lot on a family to be up here and not at home. But this is probably a part of what they do in their livelihood. So
yeah.
But all in all, beyond the language barrier, it's a cool experience, though, right? I mean, you kind of live in their culture and live in their world, and it does definitely make the hunt a little more stressful. But at the end of it, when your animal's down, they sure like it too.
Yeah.
So
they were really happy about it.
Well, gents,
should we wrap this one up?
I'm sensing a little dead air.
Yeah.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Wrap it.
Wrap it up.
Like it's hot. Hey listeners, this is Lucas Paw, host of the RNA Outdoors podcast. Check out our website at rnaoutdoors.com to find all of our podcast platforms. Go listen today where you podcast. Additionally, leave a review and a 5-star rating. These reviews help boost our popularity and outreach. You can also follow us on our social media outlets, Instagram at Rod and Arrow Outdoors, Facebook, RNA Outdoors, and YouTube, RNA Outdoors. All links are in the show notes as well. We hope you'll pass along our channel to your friends and colleagues. Subscribe today and follow along on the journey.